Next system, they can levitate and pass the walls.
Hello, everybody. Jared Hood. Thank you for watching. Jared Hood Sports. Still don't have a name for it. I say that before every video at this point. Thank you for watching. If you were watching, last week did a video leading up to the draft. Well, a couple weeks ago did a video leading up to the draft on the quarterbacks, and then last week did a video leading up to the draft about first 10, 15 picks, and just how I felt it might shake out. Just a little conversation about that. So I'm going to definitely cover that. Going to have to talk about the Aaron Rodgers situation. I'll definitely open with that, actually. Then we'll get into a little bit of basketball, LeBron James comments, and Embiid versus Nikolai Jokic. And, I mean, I'm sure you guys know where I fall on that one. So we'll get to it. First things first, the Aaron Rodgers situation. Look, I mean, arguably the best quarterback in the game, one of the best quarterbacks by far in the game. Talked about it when the Deshaun Watson situation, him and the football situation was happening. That's just a quarterback that wants to be out of their spot. Even the Carson Wentz situation, it's a big deal if they're good enough, right? Now, Aaron Rodgers is a cut above either of the two guys I just mentioned. So here's how I look at it with the Aaron Rodgers situation. I know I want to get this out of the way. People are trying to first and foremost thing I've already get out of the way. He's engaged to Cheyenne Woodley, an actress. I know people are trying to throw that in that situation into it. Sure, I agree. An actress probably wouldn't want to live in Green Bay, Wisconsin. We're in 2021 though. I don't think it's as big of a deal. Really, if you want to go that angle, like his girlfriend or his fiance, his future wife, not liking this, how about when he first started dating her and whatnot, they did something at some point here between then and then that backstabbed him, and so she doesn't like how they treated him because she thinks he's probably really good at his job. Maybe, like, if you want to go the angle of she has something to do with it, maybe that's probably as much, if not more, to do with than an actress not wanting to live in Green Bay. Either way, I want to keep her and that his personal life out of it. I'm not naive to thinking that human beings and people don't make decisions for their loved ones, that their significant other, especially in sports. I do understand that might also happen. People might pick certain situations because their spouse or girlfriend or whoever decides that they would like that as well. So, like, I'm not saying that that's not part of it. I'm not naive to that. What I am saying is until they come out and say it, I'm not going to put their personal life into it. Okay, so let me start off with that because I've been hearing a good amount of that, and it's hard to say if it's fair or not. To me, it's not fair, but that's my personal how I would do it. Deep dive into the Aaron Rodgers situation, how I look at it. It got out that he doesn't want to be there. I think most people, especially people like me who follow sports a lot, and I know if you're watching this, you probably follow sports as much as I do, you had the good sense that he wasn't happy with what was going on. Obviously, with the Aaron Rodgers situation and the Packers. Take it back to back even when they fired McCarthy, okay? Brian Gutekunst, the GM, when they hired somebody, remember the whole conversation was Aaron Rodgers kind of, sort of, not wanting to like pick who it was, but maybe sit in on the process or maybe have conversations about the process, maybe talk about some people that he liked, maybe listen to see who he might like, who they're interviewing. If I'm not mistaken, that didn't go well. They hired LaFleur. It was like friction right there off the bat, and LaFleur is more of a running style offense where Aaron Rodgers, man. Like, Aaron Rodgers is like, I want to open the ball up. Like, LaFleur, though, he came from the Titans situation. They run the ball a lot there in Tennessee. Excuse me again. Sorry, I cleared my throat. So, that felt like there was kind of friction, even though they kind of did right by him, but then maybe not if they hired a guy or maybe went through the process and didn't talk to him at all. Before that, the years that he was injured, they went 7-9, and then 6-9-1. I don't think they've had an under double digit season when he was healthy. There was one year where they were under double digits. I don't know. Either way, 95% of the time, if not 100, when Aaron Rodgers is healthy, they win double digit games. So I just start to add all that in, right? And I look at it as can he be unhappy? I think it was ESPN. It was either ESPN or NFL Network ran a stat right before the draft on Thursday, and it was Brady has had 7 top 5 defenses in his career. He's won the Super Bowl 4 times when he's had a top 5 defense. Aaron Rodgers had one top 5 defense in his career. So like the argument of the drafting, right? If you're not going to draft for pieces around him, then it has to be for the other side of the ball. Like there's only two sides of the ball that you're drafting for. We're not drafting kickers and punters. Well, some teams are, but you know what I mean. Especially the first round. So like I look at that, right? And by the way, the one time he's had a top 5 defense, what did Aaron Rodgers do with it? He won the Super Bowl. So you can totally understand the frustration. The offensive line has been good. They've been great. For the most part, there's been times, but Aaron Rodgers gets the ball out pretty quick, so that might help them. Aaron Rodgers is so good, though. I feel like every running back they've had in there, while there has been success and there's been better running backs than not, at one time they were playing a linebacker, right, or a tight end at running back as like the main carry running back, and they were doing fine. That's Aaron Rodgers. Like, it's just kind of you look at it that way. Yes, he's had. Look, I'm not going to take away. We can separate the All-Pro wide receiver. What's the rest of his core though? Like, and there's a report came out. He talked about a receiver he liked. And this is why he wants Brian Gutekunst fired. The last straw was he talked about a receiver he liked, and the next day that guy was cut. That is a slap in the face and disrespectful, especially if he doesn't feel like there's not many guys underneath his top guy. There's not many guys on the wide receiver. The tight end, I know they've been trying with Jimmy Graham. I know they tried at times, but they haven't really figured. You haven't had the production of the tight end the way a lot of other teams have. You have Aaron Rodgers. Like last year, his season was incredible. The 2 seasons he played before that were kind of average for him. Okay, so obviously the MVP season, I look at it this way, and I know there's a long way of me saying the whole Aaron Rodgers and Packers situation, but I look at it this way: all of that, and then you drafted Jordan Love last year in the first round. Like it's like man, and it sounds like that's not even what bothered him because I don't know. It probably would have bothered him, but it sounds like what he really is frustrated about is he didn't even get a phone call. I know, look, you don't have to like Carson Wentz, okay? But I'm just gonna, as an Eagles fan, just put yourself in this perspective. If you do, let's just say whoever your franchise, if you have a franchise quarterback that you like right now, and I like Carson Wentz, so I thought I do think with quarterbacks you need to treat them differently. Franchise quarterbacks, you just need to treat them differently. Like I just genuinely do feel that way. I don't like that. I feel like goalies in hockey, like it. I hate that position is just that much more important, but it is. Like it just is. And if you put that much money in a guy that the Eagles did, I'm taking this to the Eagles for 1 second, um, then you better cater to him. And if the rest of the team's bad, letting him just kind of take the bus that ran over everybody, and he took the brunt of the blows, no matter who tried. Look, the whole locker room was out there trying to take that off of him, and it just the media kept going, and the Eagles' actions in like sitting him and not giving him another chance. I've talked about that before. Blah blah blah. That is what led him to be upset with him and not want to be there. The Packers' actions, all those things, and then the Jordan Love thing, and just basically. So in his mind, like not calling him is a big deal. And I do think thinking like, oh man, you think I'm done? Like you think I'm 2-3 years away? Because here's the difference for when Aaron Rodgers was drafted today. They don't sit for 4 years. Like they just don't. Quarterbacks don't like it's a 2 year process. If he's not ready after 2 years, then he's not gonna be the guy in most of these circumstances. Is it too fast? I do probably feel it's personally definitely at times too fast. Look at a player like Brandon Graham, right? He's not a quarterback, but he's a player in the NFL that a lot of people say struggled. They would say he struggled a lot early in his career. And then now I mean, he's been a Pro Bowler. He's a leader of a Super Bowl. He is a community leader, a fan favorite. I mean, like across the board. He's respected across the league. So, like, he was in the top 100 players like not too long ago. So, it's one of those things that I do think there are those projects out there. Like the best one I got for you right now is Drew Lock out in Denver. I mean, You're not gonna let guys develop nowadays. So like, if you have an opportunity to go get Aaron Rodgers in your Denver, yeah, go do it. Obviously, I wouldn't ever argue against it, but excuse me. But it's frustrating to see like his potential. But it's almost like he's gonna have to start forcing it, like whatever opportunity he has. And I'm telling you right now, I know for a fact if he has to start forcing it, like it most likely looks for the rest of his career, he ain't gonna look like a good quarterback. And that's unfortunate because he could probably be a pretty decent quarterback given the right time and development. Thing about time and development is Aaron Rodgers is looking at the Packers right now, and he's like, well, that guy needs more time and development. So I'm going to put you between a rock and a hard place. Either you figure out how to get him ready to play and just pitch me, or you get rid of him and you give me a ton of money. And I really feel like that's where we're at with this. I know he's not going to come back if the GM is there. I have no idea if he's just not talking to them at all because, like the GM, I have no idea. I have no idea any of it. It is weird to me that the Packers came out like 2, 3 weeks ago and said they would like to get an extension done with Aaron Rodgers. He's a quarterback for our foreseeable future, and it doesn't even sound like there's ever been even been conversation. I'm not saying that's the Packers side. That could very well could be Aaron Rodgers' side. Um, I do think that this is just a roundabout way to get a really hefty contract. He looks at Tom Brady, right? So Tom Brady was able to get Jimmy Garoppolo out of there. So here's what either happens: either they're going to move on from you the way the Patriots moved on from Tom Brady, but he's looking at Tom Brady like, well, you went down to Tampa and you got this, and this, and then you brought everybody back, and you just won the Super Bowl in year one. Why not? You know what I mean? Like, why not? If we can do it, why not? Like, let's. I need that kind of thing, like the LeBron almost, the LeBron way of thinking. Tampa basically did what LeBron does. Like, let's just do everything we can to win the championship this year. We'll figure it out next year because we have me. That's what Tampa did because they have Tom Brady, right? So, that's what Aaron Rodgers is looking at his team. Like, listen, you guys are really bad when I'm not playing. You're not drafting anything for me. You're not drafting anything for the defense. So either just give me a ton of money or get me up out of here so I can go somewhere that I can get those kind of players or a ton of money. Whatever his end game is, I don't know. But I do think it's got, I mean, what else is there? Or he just really does want to retire and not play football anymore. Maybe that's possible too. He's a different cat. That's possible, but he's so good at this. I just don't see that being the case. I don't know if I can really add any more to the Rodgers situation. I've talked a good a while about this now, and if I had to put money on it, excuse me, if I had to put money on it right now, I don't think he's a Packer day one of next season, in week one of next season. But I can't tell you like I can't give you a spot where he could go. I'm going to talk about not a whole lot, but I will talk a little bit about the Raiders here in a little bit. Peter King said something that caught my ear today. If Julio Jones is really on the trading block in June and Aaron Rodgers is really on the trading block in June, then like it's John Gruden definitely that's his perfect dream scenario. You don't, and I don't know if he has any inside like conversations or whatever, but there's just you can read the tea. If you know anything about John Gruden, if you watched him over the years, just those are definitely two kind of players that he gushes over and would think that he could win a lot. And by the way, could actually still not just think he could win a lot of games. They got to figure out their defense though. So that doesn't help their defense, and their defense was terrible, especially in the division they're in. But their offense needs to figure out how to score more points. I will say that you got Darren Waller. So if you get an Aaron Rodgers and Julio Jones with Jacobs in the backfield, I like it. I do like it, but that's like the only thing I can really form in my head. I know I said Denver, maybe Denver. Um, Look, if the Packers do not feel that Love is ready, if they can't start him week one in good faith of thinking they're going to win a bunch of football games and they're not trying to tank, which they shouldn't because they have a roster that they shouldn't, then you might go quarterback. Like you might be able to get Carr out of this or Lock. I don't know. I don't know. He's development, so I don't know. Very, very interesting, and I can't wait to follow where it goes though with the Aaron Rodgers situation. I think it personally, like I like player empowerment, but personally coming out or his GM coming out and saying, we want to fire the GM, or the GM needs to be fired for me to go back or whatever. For me personally, a little far, but I like player empowerment. So like, push it to the limit, dude. If your end game's to get out of there or get him fired, if he made you that mad, I mean, not my style, but I am not gonna knock it as a player empowerment pusher that I am. And a lot of people are saying that he needs to come out and say something. Well, I thought it was laughable that people were doing that with Carson Wentz and so on and so on. These guys pay their agents to do this kind of stuff. They don't have to come out and say words. So he's just gonna keep sitting there waiting for this to pan out. And if he has anything to say, you will hear it from other people because he's gonna channel it the way that he feels proper. And at the end of the day, I don't feel like any athlete needs it. They have agents for a reason. So the draft 1 and 2 went chalk. We talked about knowing I love Trevor Lawrence, knowing that Zach Wilson was going number 2. We're interested to see how that goes. Thought the Jets had a really good draft around him. Number 3 is where the fireworks went off. I told you, people can be lying. Like I said, it's unexpected. Now, this wasn't totally unexpected. It was either Mac Jones or Trey Lance. The rumor was the guys inside the building, the scouts, the GMs, and a bunch of the coaches really liked Trey Lance, but Shanahan himself, the head coach, really loved Mac Jones. They were going to let him make the pick. Apparently, he was with the rest of the building. When I broke the quarterbacks down, I didn't have much to say about Trey Lance. He is just an athletic version of Mac Jones. He played top level college or top level coaching at his college. He played on a team that's expected to win, which I do think is something. He's athletic, he has all the intangibles. So good pick. You have Jimmy G. So if he's a developmental guy for a year or two, you still got Jimmy G for this year. And Jimmy G's injury history is what led them to wanting somebody in the back. Which, by the way, back to the Aaron Rodgers thing, could have been why they wanted a guy too. Aaron Rodgers was hurt 2 years in a row, 2 years before that. So get a guy just in case your guy gets hurt, so we can maybe still win. I like the pick for the Niners. I do. And why they had a lie the whole time, I don't know. I don't. It doesn't. Maybe they didn't lie. Maybe this is just. To me, it felt like they said it though at some point. So it's just kind of like they had to have told a reporter somewhere. This was so locked that it just felt like it. But either way, I like the pick. Pitt's going 4. I do like that. So I talked about Julio Jones maybe getting traded. I also said before, if I were Atlanta and I drafted Pitts, I wouldn't trade Julio Jones. The reason I thought drafting Pitts there was a good idea is because no defensive player, as bad as their defense is, was as highly graded as him. And to me, you take most of the time the best player. You don't need to fill needs right away. So when a guy of his talents on the board, he's going to figure it out. It does make things weird for them and Hayden Hurst, but they're going to run the 2 tight end system this year. We'll see moving forward. Hurst is probably gone. Jamar Chase going 5. Okay, so I said that I think that they should have taken a offensive lineman. I still feel that way. They would have obviously, again, maybe not like the Aaron Rodgers situation, but I feel like they would have had to call Joe Burrow and be like, "Hey, how do you feel about us taking him?" Because he played with him. Like last time we saw Jamar Chase was with Joe Burrow. His talent was off the charts. So I understand the pick, even though I might not necessarily agree with it, because who was the one next? Was the lineman the next one? Yeah. Oh no, Waddle was the next player off the board for Miami. Interesting. He has talent. He has athleticism. The injuries were kind of a question in college, but look, Tua played with him, so another college connection. We'll see. I don't hate the pick. I think with one of those offensive linemen on the board, I probably would have taken one of them. But I get it. Again, I get it. And then yeah, so Swole went to the Lions right after the Waddle pick. Thought that was a great pick by them. J.C. Horn going to the Panthers. I thought that was a great pick by them. A lot of people might have thought that was a little high or kind of reach. I think that he's going to be good, and I thought that he was better than Patrick Surtain, but they're both going to have good careers in my mind. Surtain going right after him to Denver was a really good pick by them. Look, I know I said I'm not the GM that would reinvent the wheel, but I'm also not Howie Roseman. I don't hate it. Like they would have had to talk to Jalen Hurts, probably. Like I said, just going back to talking to your quarterback. But he's played with Devontae Smith, so um, Heisman winner. His route running is incredible. His size, I said I didn't want to do it to reinvent the wheel. Like he has size of really good Hall of Fame wide receivers coming out, but those guys did bulk up over time. I think you will. Um, Here's the thing: he didn't really get hurt in college for his size, and he took a lot of hits and he played a lot of positions. So gives me hope, and I do hope that he ends up being as good as advertised for my favorite team, the Philadelphia Eagles. Really good to get something for Jalen Hurts. No weapons if you're getting rid of Hurts. I know I like Goddard, but I'm talking a real threat. Also trading up. I don't know. People are like kind of not. I look for a third round pick. Whatever. Next year's third round pick. You dumped the Giants and kept him away from going to the Giants. You got the guy that they wanted. I felt like when they and I said it in my last video. When they traded from 6 to 12, they traded from 6 to 12 because I felt like they were comfortable with Chase, Waddle, or Smith. So when they were at 12 and they saw they weren't going to get one of those three, they traded up. I didn't see that coming because I thought one of those three would also be there at 12. But they felt comfortable that they were close enough for striking distance to go get one of those guys. And they talked about trading up to get somebody a couple times throughout the week leading up to it, and a lot of people speculated quarterback this and that. I thought it was going to be him, so that's obviously what it was, and it works out. I didn't think it was going to be him, but it was going to be him, and that's worked out. So, moving on, the Giants traded their pick to the Bears, and I love this move for the Bears. I said it in my videos. Justin Fields, to me, was the second best quarterback in this draft. Getting him at 11 is a steal. It doesn't matter who your quarterback is, Andy Dalton or Nick Foles. Fields will be your quarterback by the end of the year, and I think he's got special talent. So I love it. I thought that was a great move by them. I also said about the Micah Parsons situation. Look, I said if you thought he was good enough for a 20th or 25th pick in the first round, then he's going to be good enough, like because of the character stuff, quote unquote, that they were saying, he's going to be good enough for a top 10 or top 15 pick. He went to the Cowboys, so congratulations to him. Harrisburg 717 in the house. Very excited for him and his family. Slater going to the Chargers. I thought that was a great pick. I talked about those offensive linemen the whole time. And Mac to New England. Mac Jones to New England. The pocket passer is going to be extinct here soon enough. Tom Brady's one of the few left that's not a mobile guy, but I know there's a couple guys out there Kirk Cousins isn't mobile, but he's more mobile than Brady, and Mac. But if Mac is a project, then you have time with Cam. I think Cam before Kobe last year was just fine, and I think they're going to be. I think New England is going to be interesting because if Cam can keep going back to where he was and what he was doing, they were competing with the Bills before he had COVID. So if they can get to that again, I am interested. That's an interesting division. The Jets are interesting just because of how young they are. I like their draft, but Miami and Miami, New England, and Buffalo. Those are three teams that I do think can compete this year. I thought the Ravens had a good draft. Started off strong with Beckman, the wide receiver, but I thought they just had a good draft overall. I said I like the Chargers and I like the Jets draft. I really like the Panthers draft as well. I thought the Browns had a really solid draft too, and my Eagles. They had a ton of picks, so it's good to see. Hopefully, they can fill some holes with it. I think they had a good draft just based on if you throw that many at the dartboard, a couple of them have to stick, right? The only team I'd really say had a bad draft. I wouldn't even call it a bad draft because I don't like calling this a great draft or bad drafts right away. But an interesting draft was, and the only thing you can grade this off of is the Raiders took a Letterkenny, the Leatherwood, off of Alabama in the first round. A lot of people just felt like you could get him in the second or third round. So I called that a bad move just because why don't you go get somebody that you could get before. Maybe the people and experts were wrong on that. But every mock draft and every study I've done and everything he wasn't a guy that was going in the first round. So I'm not an insider. I don't talk to teams or nothing. I just listen to sports talk radio all day and watch YouTube videos of all these players and watch old games, and I watch games in real time and all that kind of stuff. So, so I don't have any like inside information and know nobody was going to take him, but it didn't look like it from here. So it's just interesting. And the reason it's interesting is because their first round pick since Mayock, who I like as a GM, haven't really been that good since he's been around. So like it's like yeah, it was a head scratcher in the sense of you thought he'd just get somebody that you know would be solid and a home runner at least. Maybe not a reach that people thought you can get a different. Moving on. LeBron James made some comments. We'll go shift from football to basketball. LeBron James made some comments. He said, whoever came up with the play-in tournament for the end of the season should be fired. Okay. He chuckled when he said it. It was a joke. Yes, he would not even be talking about it if he wasn't talking about seeding and his team being so close. You cannot convince me. I don't care, media, fans, I don't care who. You cannot convince me LeBron James is scared of a 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th seed. You cannot convince me that that's what that was about. I'm sorry. I've been watching LeBron his whole career, and he's never worried about the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th seed before. So even though he has to be in that play-in tournament, I'll take his undefeated stats versus them. Just I'm again. Like, come on. I know he sent a stupid tweet out a couple weeks ago, and he deserved the backlash he got for it. But like, we're not gonna take every comment he says now and make it into this big phenomenal thing again, like we used to. Like, come on. I think he said it because the players didn't bargain. It wasn't a bargain. It wasn't a collectively bargained thing. And the players literally have fought every day of my life. All four major sports, and baseball has it down best. I've talked about that often. But to me, yeah, like everything they want to do is collectively bargain. They want more money. Like to me, the owners shouldn't be making 50%. So I don't watch basketball. I watch basketball for Dennis Schroeder. I don't even like Dennis Schroeder, but I watch it more for Dennis Schroeder than Jeannie Buss. No offense, and Jeannie Buss seems like a nice lady. But it's just the point of like I would rather the athletes get more pot of the pie and all that kind of stuff. So I understand them always fighting for more collectively bargaining things and always taking every opportunity to fight for another thing for their voice in the arena. Because this was just voted on by the owners. It was just, hey, we think we should do this. And by the way, I don't like the format. Like I don't really like the 7th and 8th seed play, and then the loser of that plays the winner of the 8th. Like I don't know. I get you got to beat the loser of the first one twice, though. So it should be rigged for the 7th and 8th seed to have a better opportunity. I get that. It just makes it weird. I like that 20 teams are trying right now. Like, I genuinely do like that most of the NBA is putting some effort in because most of the NBA already had an opportunity to make half of it had the opportunity to make the postseason, but now more than half has the opportunity. So it is cool to see this late in the season, this many teams trying and everyone going for it. So that aspect's awesome, but I don't think and he made the comments jokingly, like it wasn't even that serious. Like it was, I get it, people are acting like he's just like he really wanted Adam Silver fired or something. Like, come on. The MVP conversation. If you want to just talk offense, speaking of LeBron James, because that's what I've been arguing for years and years and years. It's funny. The only time anybody ever wanted to talk about how defense matters is when we were talking about Kawhi and LeBron. But when we talked about James Harden and LeBron, or when we talked about Russ and LeBron, or when we talked about Kawhi, or not Kawhi, Giannis and LeBron, all of a sudden defense don't matter, and that's where we're at again. Because so at least everyone's consistent. Look, Embiid should be the MVP, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a Sixers fan. I'm saying that because I've been arguing on behalf of the whole game matters for MVP for years. It ain't going to go nowhere. He's not going to win it. The center from Denver, Nikolai Jokic is going to win it. Jokic. the Joker. I'm not even good with American names, so I apologize for butchering his as many times as I have tonight. He's a really good player. I have nothing against him. But the people who are voting on it are they think they look like him, even though they are way bigger and way paler than him. Um, and so like they think that they could probably, you know what I mean, they look like him taking the shots and all that. So like I get it. Like there's so much, 2/3 of the people voting on it are old white dudes who feel like him. You know what I mean? So like I'm not saying they're not voting against him because he's black. I'm saying that like they just their connection with Nikola Jokic, they don't care at all about defense. Like the whole thing, I'm just it. Embiid ain't winning it, and he should. He's the best all around player this year. He's the most important all around player to his team this year. But it's okay. I'm more worried about the finals. I'm more worried about. I really think that the Sixers have a good opportunity against Milwaukee and Brooklyn. Don't know if they're gonna have to play. Got to get that first seed. I was disappointed. I get Simmons was down, but it would have really been man to get a couple more wins there and just make sure you lock up that one seed. It's gonna be a rough stretch to the end, but I think the Sixers can still do it. We'll see. I don't have anything else to add today. This was a longer video. Please, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share. We will definitely be talking about more videos coming up.